Each year we hear from one of the organisations that the Chappel Foundation has worked with, organisations that do incredible work, often thankless work, in addressing youth homelessness and going about creating opportunities to get young lives back on track. One of those organisations is the Burdekin Association, which provides accommodation, care and support to youth who find themselves needing a helping and guiding hand. So we're about to hear from a 20-year-old man who's been with the Burdekin Association since he was 14. He lived in a carer-based placement and now has successfully transitioned into Burdekin's youth housing program. He was removed from his family by the Department of Communities and Justice when he was 5 years old. Anyone that has a child or children, just think about that. Or even in your own lives, think about being removed from your family when you are 5 years old. What he has proven in the years in between is that he is resilient, independent, and incredibly mature given the life experience he's had to live throughout most of his formative years. The Burdekin team is proud that he put his hand up to come and speak with us tonight, and he'll be supported by Justine and Huzzy from Burdekin. But I'd like you to make a very special warm welcome, please, to Christopher Hewitt, known as CJ.
Been a while since I've done one of these. Jeez. Think year 2. Teacher asked, "You sure you want to do this?" I was like, "Yeah, I got this." 2 seconds later, bailed. Went straight out. I was like, "Oh yeah, I got a doctor's appointment." Never went. But I would just like to thank the Chappel Foundation for letting me say a few bits and pieces of my rough life growing up to the age of 5, then so forth. So at the age of 5, I was removed from my mother and stepfather at the time, from neglection, abuse, and other things around. I moved to my older sister's father's place with him and his partner and his 4 kids of his own. It was a great time getting to know them, calling them my own brothers and sisters, but unfortunately it was a rough time for the parents at the time. Taking on 8 kids, and 3 of us were like 5 and younger. So the Department of Community Service decided, look, you guys can't handle, so we'll move you on to another place. We all moved to my quote-unquote nan, which was the carer's at the time's mother. She was a lovely, lovely woman. Me and her connected really well growing up those 9 years or so. Just getting to know her, calling my own nan, even though deep down I know by blood she's not. So years go on, siblings fighting, seeing mum bi-monthly in foster care situations, and like going into the Department of Community Services office and going to a park here and there. So after 9 years living with her, she unfortunately became sick with emphysema. It shocked us all. Unfortunately, at the time, it was the most disappointing thing for me. I was so close with her, knowing that docs were deciding to take me away from her was the hardest thing I've ever heard in my life. But she calmed me down and said, "Look, I'm coming with you to where you're going. You are moving up to Queensland with my son and his kids again. You're going to have a great time, you're going to have fun. I'm going to be there to support you every way." I was just grateful. Unfortunately, my siblings didn't come. We all went our separate ways. So a few months after I moved up to Queensland, I was getting along with a new bunch of people, like school kids and the teachers there. About a month after that, my nan moved up. I was so excited. I'm like, yeah, she's up here. Like, everything's going to be fine for me. Then probably 2 to 3 weeks later, I come home from school after a rough day at school. And the carers told me to go downstairs in the place that me and my nan were staying and like just chuck on comfortable clothes and come back upstairs. So I did that, come back up and they go, we got some news. It's not good news. It's the worst news you're probably going to hear. So they said to me, she went into hospital about an hour after I left for school. They didn't want to call me because they knew I was going to get really emotional and try to get out of school. They said that she passed away from emphysema. Hearing that killed me emotionally and mentally. That's where I started to become very suicidal, very depressed, and thought there was nothing left for me since she left. So it became a very rough time. I attempted suicide on many occasions. I was self-harming. I just lost it. I couldn't live. But unfortunately, there was other things what were making things worse for me with the carers and whatnot, asking me to go into their bedrooms and watch inappropriate things with them, or asking for me to get with the female carer. It was just turning south for me. And so I decided to contact Docs, my caseworker at the time. Look, I need to get out. They wouldn't let me to go. The step family, you got to live with them. Like, there's nowhere else. So I didn't want to put this on their plates, and I said, look, I'm self-harming, I'm trying to kill myself, and if I don't get out, I will write a note, send it to your boss, saying the reason I am dead is because of you guys. So they got me out of there as soon as possible. Then that's when they put me with Burdekin, the greatest thing that ever happened. They put me into a carer situation. It was a very scary new experience. But after a time of living with this carer named Lynn, a very, very grateful person, she helped me become the best part of me I've ever experienced. I was living with her for about 5 years, which I was sharing a place with her and another young child, what was with me at the time. Unfortunately, he had his issues and we had to move for safety reasons. I lived with her in Northern Beaches for an extra 2 years before I became a more aggressive teenager. And so I decided I don't want to put her in stress and I don't want to cause more stress for her. So I decided that it's time for me to put my foot down and move on in life. So Burdekin decided to do this program for me called SEAL. It's basically, they put me into an apartment unit block that they own, and they teach me the ways of doing bills, grocery shoppings, all sorts. They funded the grocery shopping, they gave me subsidised rent. It was a great service and it really helped me mature myself even more. I had a job, thanks to the help of them, with my resumes and go and practice with job speak, they'll pretend that they're an employee and all that and help me with all that and my communication, because growing up I hated English and I never read a book and never did public speaking like this and everything. So they helped me out a lot through all of it, honestly. I couldn't be any more grateful for this. I would love for all kids that end up either homeless or, in the foster care system to go straight to Burdekin. They will have the best life they could possibly have. So a few months on, a young person moves in with me. We had a bit of issues because he was doing stuff that I didn't like and whatnot, so I had to ask Burdekin if I could move. They did it again. They moved me into a place. They were still helping me with subsidised rent and all this. They helped me get a job at a cinemas, doing ushering and selling tickets. So they helped me with a lot. I can't thank them enough, honestly. They're just the best. Like, I had my great caseworker, Huzzy, with me for about 3 years. Well, it felt like 5 to me. He was more than a caseworker to me. He was like a best mate that I can go to if I'm feeling down and I don't feel like myself. I just want to kill myself and self-harm. He was always there to go, look, you got this. He motivated me to get a job. He motivated me to continue with this job, even though it was painful and it sucked at times, but that's all jobs realistically. So unfortunately, I lost my job due to COVID, so he's been helping me out for the past few years of COVID with like finding a new job and like helping me build my confidence even more and more. At the moment, unfortunately, he's not my caseworker, but I'm with a lovely caseworker named Olivia. She has helped me also with all of this. I'm currently in the youth housing option now, which I am paying for subsidised rent. I'm paying my own groceries and I'm paying like everything, my own bills, phone bills. I'm very thankful for what Burdekin have done with this SEAL program. Like, it has matured me a lot. It's made me realise how much that kids need a program like this, or how much they need people like Burdekin. So I'm just going to make a couple of thank yous. First, to Huzzy for always being there, being my best friend when I had no one. I would like to thank I'd like to thank Justine, the CEO of Burdekin, for taking me in. I would like to thank the 2 youth workers that have been helping me out with like going to doctor's appointments, Theo and Jubes. Unfortunately, they're not here. And the last thanks is to the Chappel Foundation for letting me share a bit of my life with you guys. Thank you.